inspire, empower. Grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in you, 'cause real women don't bitch. No, real women don't. 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 Real women don't bitch.
Hey, thank you for joining me on the Real Women Don't Bitch podcast. This is your proud host, August Crenshaw, aka Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. I am the #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs because building mental muscle is necessary in order to implement successful business strategies. This show has been created for the woman who is not excuse-driven and needs help building a profitable business. I will be interviewing women from various fields who are willing to break the silence on struggles that specifically affect female entrepreneurs. Welcome to a show where I and guest speakers from time to time share our methods that help us beast our business no matter what is going on in our lives. Whether you are an online or brick and mortar business owner, this show is for you. We will hit every angle, personal, professional, and spiritual. Why? Because on any given day, you get hit with shit from a scenario involving one, more, or perhaps all of the above. It all impacts you and your mindset towards your business. I have made it my personal mission to provide a space where we dive deep into the BS we face on a day-to-day basis. All right, now let's talk conflict resolution. How many of you have ever had an issue with one of your clients and you don't really know whether or not it's going to be okay, we had an issue and let's keep it moving, or they're going to respond like, okay, I don't want nothing else to do with this heifer and fall off the face of the earth, especially if they're using a product or service that does not involve a contract. I want to talk to you guys about this because this happens to me a lot, but let me put this in proper context. I am a coach who works with mindset. And if you were a coach, you do life coaching, any type of healing, deal with people with the trauma. This happens to you as well, because helping someone unpack all of their shit, realizing that they've done something that is questionable, it won't feel good. And people will say, well, if you would have did it this way, it would have done better. Or if you did it like this would have felt better. And at the end of the day, there are certain situations, no matter how you tackle it, it's going to be an issue because you're unpacking somebody else's shit. And if you know that that's something that happens to you, I want to just give you some really quick advice. Number 1, be your authentic self at all times. The way that I talk on this podcast, the way that I talk on my videos, it is very apparent that August is real, in your face, and straightforward. It doesn't matter though, right? Because sometimes a situation still occurs with a client where they have to be like, damn, she really is real and all in your face. And when it happens directly to them, instead of them just hearing the tone or hearing the stories, it takes on a different value. But the fact that this brash and fun and sassy and in your face, yet compassionate, loving woman has an issue where the two of us may be questioning how we feel about each other for the moment, what will override is that they will still be impacted by that energy. Now, everybody isn't always going to be mature enough to say exactly how they feel, but if you've been authentic from the start, it won't be a shock where it's like, who the hell is this woman? That's number 1. Number 2, prepare people. I tell folks all the time, hey, before you decide to work with me, this is the kind of person I am. Are you sure you're ready for it? Because this kind of, moment is going to occur. And then when it does happen, it's like, damn, she said that this was going to happen. And so if you're upfront with people and you let that be known, then you don't have anything to worry about.
And I'm bringing this up because sometimes I even have clients that'll come to me. They'll tell me stuff like this, and I'll be like, well, what did you say to the person? Have you talked to the person? How did you prepare them for this? Yada, yada. We go through all of these different questions because they don't want to lose the client, or they're really frustrated and they feel like they don't want to deal with any shit. I mean, there's just so many different ways that this can go. I want you all to take into consideration something. You're going to attract people that are a hot mess, or if they're not a hot mess, they're dealing with some kind of issue. And when you're in the line of business, when you're transforming lives and you're working with someone's mindset, it's your responsibility to be the more patient party. It's your responsibility to be the more patient party. And I can't emphasize that enough. A lot of women, you are damaged. You are damaged. And yes, when you are in an optimal space where things are going in your way, you do a great job at helping people. But when things are not exactly the way you want them to be, and if somebody gets on your nerves, some of you all are too willing to quit on people too fast and then say, well, it's their fault because they're too fucked up in the head. I recently had an issue with somebody in a situation, and I had to correct what they did, and they didn't like it. But this person was like, August was very real with me, and we ended up hopping in on a call. And this is someone who isn't a one-to-one client. And sometimes I see these other coaches, they've got these big programs and they're virtually almost untouchable. I'm not untouchable. It's like having an excellent customer service department. But me and this woman ended up getting on the phone, and we had a conversation, and she told me everything that she felt from top to bottom. And I also thought she came to me in a very beautiful and a humble fashion. But I've had some people that didn't come to me that way, as well before. But what I did still do is I stayed true to who I am. And I know why I decided to work with those people or allow them to be in my groups. And with this one woman in particular, while we were having the conversation, then I went ahead and explained, okay, let me go ahead and plead my case and make sure that I make it even more clear. This, and this. All of these things that you did, this is how it spoke to your character. This is how it speaks to what's going on in your subconscious mind. This is how it speaks to you as a professional and a business owner. And this is why something had to be said. And so this is deeper than the little conversation. Let me really unravel and unpack that thing. And once it was all said and done, they were like, dag, you know what? That's not usually my MO, and that's not usually what I do. And I can see how you were in the dark and you felt that way. But even after all of that was done, there was one comment that stuck out like a sore thumb to me. She was like, yeah, and it's not that. Let me go back and really emphasize this. I'm not even saying that she was saying this necessarily at me, because she had other experiences where she's worked with other coaches, been in other groups, had friends in church, or just people that she knew where she had that moment where she felt like she was getting picked on and the situation needed to be resolved or whatever. And she made the comment that, we got to stop beating each other up. We got to stop believing that we got to build each other down to build each other up. And when she said it, it wasn't like she said it directly to me. She was going through this rant with some stuff that she was going through. But when people say things, and I know that they've already been wrestling with our relationship and not trying to make it a previous experience, I got to make sure that they don't connect their words to me. And I said to this woman, I said, a lot of people do tear other women down. But I want to make sure that it's perfectly clear with you that I don't tear women down. I tear down their characteristics. I tear down the shit that's in their mind, and I rebuild up their mind because I see the beauty that's in them. And you need to ask yourself that question. Even if you're not, a coach or a healer or whatever by trade, you are involved with some other woman who goes through things, and you need to ask yourself, when someone is through with you, have you torn them down and then tried to build them up? Or have you torn down the characteristics and the issues and then built them back up? Because there is a very distinct difference. And I had to make sure that I made sure that she saw that. I said, because see, with these other people and these other relationships, you still walked away feeling some kind of way, even though the issue was so-called resolved. I said, however, with you and I, you still feel like you can take over the world. And my clients will tell you, they'll be like, man, some of the sessions that I had with August, they just put me in this mindset where it's like your feelings are hurt. You want to cry. You want to strangle me. But you be like, but shit, it's the truth. Because at the end, I still always say, look, because you're beautiful, because you're wise, because you're intelligent, because the world needs you. These are the positive things that I see about you. I still leave people with some form of edification. And a lot of you're not leaving people like that. And you can't do it because you are still damaged too. So how do you resolve conflict when those moments happen, when that iron sharpens iron moment happens? How do you do that? Because the last thing that I will also say is that even though I know that I am the shit as a coach and I'm usually unpacking somebody else's shit, I do still use my clients as a mirror for myself and say, okay, but did you learn something about another type of person with another set of type of, personality traits? Could you potentially do this a little bit differently going forward? Or what you did, was it fine? But should you have added this element or this component? What can continue to change about you and evolve about you in order to make you a better coach? Because you're dealing with other people's mind and your mind has to be in a certain place as well. That's my nugget today. And I want you to just walk away with the question. What are you doing? Are you tearing down women and then calling yourself building them back up? Or are you tearing down and pulling and plucking out these, faulty character traits and personality traits and then building those back up in order to help them become a better woman? If this is something that you wrestle with and you're damaged and you're having issues with dealing with your clients, I do mindset work. It is what I do. Head over to www.augustcrenshaw.com and sign up for a free consultation with me and let's talk about this. All right. In the meantime and in between time, deuces.
Thank you for joining me today. Remember to cultivate a mindset that is biased towards taking action. No bitching, whining, or complaining. Here, our mantra is, real women don't bitch, we get shit done. See you next week as I continue to bring you what you need to keep your head in the game and beast your business. Don't forget to hit subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. Would you like a specific topic covered? Have a question you would like answered live? Then head on over to realwomendon'tbitchpodcast.com. Subscribe to my email list, hit me up, and I got you. Interested in being a guest speaker? You walk the walk? Then you can sign up on the website too. This is your #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs, Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. Signing out. Deuces.
Inspire, empower, grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in